I used to think, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not going to win at this, or I'm, like say, so I did a lot of running at school, so I was really good at hurdles and 100 meters. Like, I'm not going to win. But then, because in my head, I was like, well, if I do win, I'm going to have excelled what I thought I could do. Whereas actually, and I see this with my daughter, every time, she's a really good athlete. She's like best under 17s at triple jump now. Yeah, she's amazing. So, but we went to a competition on Sunday and she's like, I'm not going to do well today. She's in herself going, and I was like, babe, if you keep telling yourself,
it will happen.
That is what will happen. If you go, do you know what, I can do this. I'm going to do the best I can do. Times. Yeah, I've like, just change your mindset. And I think maybe it's something that we do when we're younger, because I used to think like that. And as I've got older, maybe it's therapy, maybe it's life experience, I don't know, mixture of all of the above. Having that positive attitude, you manifest what you think, like enabling myself to think, I can do this. And, whether that gives me a huge ego or not, I don't really care. But the reality is, if you believe it and you say it, you are much more likely to get there than if you don't. There is truth in manifestation. If you
100%,
if you think you can't do it, you're not going to freaking do it.
No, and it's funny because I think people think manifestation and visualization is like fluffy woo-wah boo-boo. Like Usain Bolt used to visualize him winning those races over and over and over and over and over and over again. Thomas Edison, like Newton, all of these people have made these incredible discoveries and achieved these incredible things because they visualized it. Like a light bulb, for example, wasn't just invented, it was visualized before and was created off that person's visualization. Like, I don't think people because I think the thing is, like, these words have got such like spiritual kind of like crystal chakra healing, whatever woo-woo connotations, that no one actually takes them that seriously. But the people that understand it can actually harness the power of that are the ones who succeed. Like, this is the maddest story. So I do a vision board every year.
Love that.
And I always encourage the team to do one as well. A couple of years ago, I put LinkedIn on there. By the way, I'd never posted a piece of content. For whatever reason, I put LinkedIn on there. I put this car that I liked on there. I put all of these things. And every year I've updated. I've put a book on there. I've put CEO. I've put earning, whatever amount of money. I
spoke to someone this week who is helping with your book.
Oh, really?
Keep speaking to people that are working with you. It's so weird.
Oh, well, this is meant to happen. This interaction is like in a circle. But and there's some things that I'm about to sign a deal on, which is like going to be one of the biggest deals in the history of my whole life, that I had on my board 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I looked back at these boards the other day and I was like, holy fucking shit. Every day I've been looking at this on my screensaver and like not realizing that actually all of this stuff has come true.
Yeah.
And it's not because I've put it as a screensaver. It's because every time I look at my phone, I'm reminded that I want to be on that TED stage, that I want to produce that book, and I'm seeing myself doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like the practice run of it actually happening. And so, no, it's not going to happen in 30 days. It's not going to happen in 5 days. It's not going to happen. But if you look back at what you've actually listed as your goals and you visualize yourself achieving them, you'd be very surprised how accurate your brain can predict what is actually going to happen.
But how can you live life without, I would question people, without doing that? Because if you think about it, I mean, I don't think I did actually have a business plan for Street when I started Street.
I didn't either.
But I just
My head of ops is asking me for a business plan now.
Yeah,
4 years in, and I'm like,
I mean, we have a strategy. I know where it goes. It's
in my head.
It's in my head. It's in our kind of marketing docs, whatever. But you have a plan for your business, right? You know where you want to go. You know what your aims are, even if it is just in our heads. You know what that is, and strategically, you know how you're going to get there. How can you not do that for yourself in your life? That's you.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I can't remember what the saying is. Like, fail to plan and plan to fail.
Yeah.
Like, if you're putting that effort into your business plans, your marketing plans, whatever it might be, but you're not putting that into your own life, how can you're never going to get where you want to get, because you're just aimlessly roaming. So I think of manifestation like a business plan for your own life, and really, define where you want to be, what you want to do. And I promise you that kind of magic, it whether it's magic or, a business plan, whatever you want to talk, you're not going to get there if you don't define what you want to get to. So you have to me, I have to do that. I have to continually, like, it has been sat on my table at home for ages, this manifestation journal book that I'm going to do, but I'm really going to focus and that's one of the things my life coach has asked me to do is sit down and actually think about where you want life to go, because otherwise life happens and and this is a bit what happened with Street. It just rolled on and did brilliantly and grew and became this beast that I hadn't really planned to have. Whereas this time round, I'm like, this is what I want. This is why I want it. This is how I'm going to get there. And I have to do that not just for my business, but also for me personally, because I am my business.
I think it's Robin Sharma who famously said that most people live the same 12 months 75 times and call it life.
Yeah. What the hell?
Like literally, you get up, you have breakfast, you take your kids to school, you go to work, you come home, you feed your kids, you go to bed.
Yeah.
And you do that 5 times a week. On the weekends, you might have a bit of a different routine, but then you're back to it the next week.
Yeah.
That to me is the definition of failure.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you failed.
Yeah.
You failed.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about there is giving you a roadmap to make sure that you win.
Yeah.
Because even if you do fuck up, which we all do, like I've had, and we'll dig into your stuff as well, because I know we have a very similar mindset about this kind of stuff, but I've had fuck up after fuck up after fuck up. But I always win at the end.
Yeah.
Always. But that's because we have this goal of like what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah. And actually, I met a friend of mine last night. I won't mention where he's from, but he's had to just close his UK arm of the business because it's been really tough. But he's learned, they'd lost some money. Lots of things happened that he wasn't fully aware of because he's running a business with like nearly 100 people in it.
Yeah.
But it's tough out there. But when you experience those tough times, when you fail, I personally believe you learn so much more from the shit that happens than you do when things are good. Running a business, working, life is never, everyone thinks it's this lovely uphill, oh, isn't it lovely? And to be fair, the first 3 years of me running Street was like that. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yay. Easy. La, 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 la.
Business is great.
Then
I was the same.
and COVID actually did us favors. We had 3x growth in COVID. I was like, love this. No, I'm going to, look, we worked really hard, or I worked really hard to get us through that and for us to grow in that. But actually, the past couple of years, so we're nearly 5 years old, has been much tougher. There's been a lot more, I've had a lot more challenges, but I've learned so much more than in the last 2 years when it's been tough than I did in the 3 years when it was easy, because you don't actually learn that much. I mean, you do. If something goes brilliant, you go, that went brilliant, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But when things are tough and you fail at something or you fuck up, then you learn so much more, because you're like, I'm never doing that again. How can I avoid that happening again? What did I learn from that I can implement in my life or in my business that's going to mean that next time I grow through that situation, I don't fail through it. So that's, for me, one of the biggest things. I actually love failing, because by failing, I learn so much more than I ever do when I'm successful.
Win or learn.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think everyone I've ever met who's quote unquote successful has exactly the same output thing.